Hello, YouTubers, and since it's like bring you a new podcast of my new segment called Power Rangers Endings. I'm going to speak very loudly, very clearly, and very slowly, in case you don't understand me. And this podcast is also brought to you by Scorpion Productions. Now let's get in this podcast. Like Power Rangers Origins, I'm gonna tell you each ending for each Power Rangers series from the past all the way up to the present. So let's further do the ending for RPM. Now at this point, the Rangers managed to defeat all the defeat all the generals that Vengeance had. But bad, and also help Dylan's sister to remember who she is and who she is. But that's cut short when the clock shook her away again. Anyway, it turns out the robot parts in Dylan fused with the Venture Fences were starting to spread. So Dr. K was working on an antidote and make sure hoping that it will get rid of the virus inside his robot parts. It turns out there was one Jennifer last covered Jennifer gangs. Jennifer they took one of the folded generals' bodies, brought it back to Benjamin. Benjamin done some remodeling does a remodeling to it and change the color a little bit and transfer it into the new model falling general body. Anyway, so it's time to put so basically it's time to put his master plan into effect now. Turns out Dylan is not the only person affected by the Vengeance Fires who had robot parts in it. Turns out a lot of people in Corin has a lot of people in Corin have robot parts in them, but and had the big market design. So when the person button activated on people who have robot parts in with the jitters, virus and course. Like sleeper agents. So the sleeper agents in the commands in Core managed to put down the force field of Core and allow all the Vigid forces to easily enter the city now. Doing so, the Vigid forces took down the tower that is just that's main that controls the whole defense grid for Corinth. Anyway, then was the rest of the then it had a hard Dr. K was dealing with Dylan and Dylan was dealing with a robot was dealing with a zombie like Dylan in the laboratory as he tries it. So his sister shows. Nice again. His sister shows up and kidnaps Dr. K. Dr. K. But for people didn't really to resist the program the midget virus inside him. But his sister knocked him on his ass. Anyway, the knockout temporarily gave control of his body, which he used to use Dr. K's miracle cure to cure him completely of the Vengeance virus. Anyway, during the battle, Vengeance managed to use the biofield that the Rangers used to morph to destroy the two out of the four Megazords that the Rangers have. the Gold Silver Ranger Jim and Jenna, who Jenna tried to fight Bendis on them, but using the biofield that Bendis hacked into, he used it to link them like a old email right in front of them. So the Rangers had no choice but to retreat. Had to retreat back to the damage headquarters. Anyway, Disney managed to free Dr. K and give his sister Dr. K's car. So they all headed back to the damage command. They damage command center. Anyway, Dr. K said I can get. He said I can get Bendis a special computer virus, but that can weaken him long enough to you guys destroy him. But if you guys want to go after, but you guys have to wait a while. You guys will have to wait a while. You have to wait you guys have to wait. You have to wait a minute before you guys force the virus kick in. Because if you guys do more, he will delete you. So the Fire Rangers, who was basically far from eventually to stop being this long enough to Dr. K's miracle virus to kick in. So while the Rangers was doing that, the Rangers was doing that the Rangers was doing that. Dr. K was working on was doing a secret project. Her secret project is she working on a secret project. Anyway, the virus kicked in and the Rangers were able to morph. So they had their final battle with Bendis. And somehow Dr. K's secret part is she bombarded Gemma, the Gold and Silver Rangers. So back to life. So anyway, so right after 10 minutes of the story, Bendis once and for all. Anyway, with Bendis now gone, but Bendis now gone, and the computer virus is no longer a threat now. The Rangers tried to part ways. Scott, the Red Ranger, he said he's put in charge, searching to people and searching to land, find more land and start the resources with forces and put charge of the Air Force. Jim, the Gold and Gemma, the Silver Ranger, was going to join him in a special Air Force search team. Anyway, the Blue Rangers was put in charge to rebuild the computer system for Korn. As for the Green Ranger, Ziggy and Dr. K started to open up the school for orphans. She finally called Ziggy by his name. Anyway, as for the Black Ranger, well, him and the sister decided to leave and find their hometown, find their hotel and find who was ever left who was out there. So the other Rangers joined them. So at the end, when they all put their morphers into a suitcase, and one of the Red Ranger morphers started to grow. Turns out the Red Ranger morpher still had to be. Turns out part of the magic inside the Red Ranger morpher, and that's how the series ended. So RP, you know, RP was the last of the Disney era, but it had a pretty good twist in the ending. It was very good. I suggest you really watch this series. So, like always, this is like signing off. One.